Yo, what's going on, guys? I actually didn't think this was gonna happen. I'm not saying like Landry Fields is an amazing GM, and the way Landry Fields became the GM was a little bit snaky. He took it from Travis Schlecht by becoming friends with the owner's son. I digress. He's now been relieved of his job, and Onsi Saleh has been promoted to general managers, and I think the whole thing is that I don't know. It's a very odd one. I thought he would be someone they would have kept around. So before we even start, I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys expect, and why is the reason this happened? And let's just break down who Onsi Saleh is. I'm actually reaching out to a couple people and trying to get a response to see if they have any intel I can share about the situation. And yeah, let's get right into it. Let me hear those thoughts. If you like this type of content, like, comment, subscribe. So Travis Schlecht, if I remember correctly, was a Warriors guy. And guess what? Onsi Saleh is a Warriors guy. He's coming to Atlanta from Golden State last year. He was named assistant general manager, and he had previously been vice president of basketball strategy and team council for the Warriors. And this was a guy that now joins I don't know what's going to happen with Kyle Korver, as they had already had one assistant GM and Kyle Korver, and they were both working under Landry Fields. And I saw Korver at all these events that I've been going to scouting wise. Like, he was at Hoop Summit, and I don't know if he was at Portsmouth, but I've seen Korver representing the Hawks. And Saleh's coming from the Spurs as before the Warriors. So this is a guy who's clearly has ties to this front office, and it's very interesting because Saleh joins a team that hasn't won a playoff series since their surprising run to the Eastern Conference Finals in 2021. And this is going to be a big offseason, as I think they're going to have to decide on how they retool around Trae Young, Jalen Johnson. By the way, Onsi Saleh was named top 40 under 40 by Forbes, I believe, or no, by the San Francisco Business Times. So maybe a little bit less of a publication. And Landry Fields' firing was just interesting because the whole thing has to be some sort of friction, or I'm confused because Landry Fields gets exiled in a similar way that he supplanted Travis Schlecht. And in the exit interviews, general manager emphasized the organization's dual focus on competitiveness and development. And there was no hinting that they were going to fire him. And to me, I wonder if they just lost confidence in him. Let me just put this. The last thing I will say before we hang up is last year when they won the number one pick, I could tell they had won the number one pick before they even dropped the ball. I was at the lottery, and he was just smiling so hard. He kept doing like these looks at the crowd if you were paying attention. I was like, you're just doing too much. I was like, I saw my friends or colleagues who were with me. I was like, I think the Hawks won it, and then they won it. But what I'm gonna say is, I had a lot of people tell me about Landry Fields, agents. They called him a goofball, like a nice guy, but kind of a goofball. You can take what you want from that information, and they just called the front office of the Hawks goofy. I don't know what that means. I didn't pry, but that's it. So before we leave, I actually got access to it's been published, but the press release. They're initiating a search for president of basketball operations. That needs to be addressed. So that means only Onsi Saleh, because they made Landry Fields, I'm pretty sure, president of basketball operations and general manager. He wasn't spectacularly good at his job, and nor was he bad at it. It's just so they said that they will begin the search of president of basketball option, and they have hired Sportsology Group, a strategic advisory and operational support group. They've relieved Landry Fields of general manager, and I think he was pretty sure he was also president. And Onsi Saleh has been promoted to general manager. The Hawks finished 40-42, and they lost back-to-back times in the play-in. So Tony Ressler, the principal owner, says, as we enter this pivotal offseason, we have several complex decisions ahead of us. We are committed to providing the human and financial resources needed to ensure that we navigate these decisions with a high level of precision and foresight. Adding an accomplished senior level leader to provide strategic direction and structure, as well as partnering with Onsi and our talented front office, is a top priority, end quote. If you read between the lines there, they just want an adult in the room who knows what the fuck they're doing, is what I'm reading. That's like it.